This week in Spiral Knights, we have one of the best updates to the game in a hot minute, I would say. We have changes to the Forge. I did cover a good chunk of it on my my main channel, so if you do want to see the Forge aspect, I think we'll talk about it there. Generally, you know, I will touch on it a little bit later because there's some points raised by the community about, you know, some issues with the boxes potentially with UV tickets, and people might not be as happy about it, but I think the consensus is that people are happy. Anyway, I'm not going to cover too much about this. If you want to see that, just look at the main video. But I didn't talk too much about what the actual thing was here. So I'm just going to read out this part of the update. The system upgrade. So they've released a second batch of very large back-end changes. Like the previous changes, this is part of our continuing effort to modernize the game. This represents quite a lot of work behind the scenes, but should help the game run better for players. Thank you all for your patience while we've been tinkering under the hood. Windows works better if using system scaling. Mac, support for Apple Silicon, support for green button maximizing high resolutions in windowed mode. I have seen people, so there was a forum post, I don't have it open, but there was someone posting about, with the recent batches of like system updates, the game has been a lot smoother for a lot of people, but there were a few subset of users who have Apple, I think Apple Silicon, I don't know what this really is referring to, where the game was very laggy for them and they're like confused as to why everyone else is like having such a significantly better experience and they're not. But with this update, that's been fixed for them. So they're having a better time. Funnily enough, that being said, I've heard people complaining that like this update has changed things, made it less stable. Like people are having issues with like dashes and stuff like that. Like apparently this update might not have gone over too well. Like there's just some bugs that need to be ironed out. So it's a bit weird. I played on an M1 Pro MacBook. Sometimes it was laggy, but scaling resolution down fixed the issue. Interesting. The upgrades required some new controls and remapping of old controls. We've tried to migrate your control schemes as part of these changes, but in case there were mistakes, please check your settings. However, particular gamepad mappings may be off. These are a work in progress. Your feedback is appreciated in the technical issues forum. In most cases, these changes or additions won't automatically override anything for old Knights. I logged in, my settings were basically the same, so that was fine for me. Facing controls will override movement keys that are also bound to facing controls. I don't know what that means. The default WASD setup has been updated. The default gamepad control scheme is dual stick and newly mapped. I low-key kind of want to see what that, I kind of wish I could see what the WASD movement is, but I don't want to click it and then it remaps my stuff. But I'm so curious as to what they changed on the WASD setup because I can't imagine it be that crazy. But that's cool. They've changed the defaults, I guess. Steam Deck is also a work in progress, but should be set up gamepad plus mouse. The official layout will be updated and your feedback is welcome. More UIs are now navigatable with a gamepad. Navigable. Classic issues, you know, some spelling errors. It's a good time here. Tell us if something's missing in the technical issues forum. Escape should now close a menu properly. I'm having issues with my escape. It's still not working properly. More changes. Cole removing an accessory, deleting in a few more places. I feel like that's so unnecessary. You can no longer bypass the "Are you sure?" dialogue for deleting an accessory. Interesting. Below are a few fixes. They did do a one-day follow-up. I'm hoping it's better. Hello, Wounds. Below are a few fixes we've sent out since the larger release. Fixed the render effects option not working. Fixed issues where the cursor wasn't showing when moving. Some key binding fixes for Linux users. Changing anti-aliasing, I don't know how to say that, will now be saved correctly. And escape should now clear text from chat field, and then hitting again will close that field. This might not have worked for you. If not, please file a /bug report in-game. If you're having issues with any key bindings, please go in and try to adjust them to your preferred settings. If they're still not working, please file a /bug report in-game and let us know what's going on. So a bunch of like back-end stuff. I swear that the system upgrade here doesn't really tell you a lot of like what that would really mean. From what I've heard from people saying, like, so I mentioned in the video is Java got upgraded from like 23 to 25. And there's things like JGWL, something like that. LWJGL is what they're on now. Which LGWJL, what the hell is this? LWJGL. I don't know what it does. But, okay, expose the cross-platform library is commonly used in developing video games and multimedia titles, such as Vulkan, OpenGL. I think it just helps with, like, cross-platform stuff. So maybe it's better for, like, you know, other users who aren't on computer. I don't know. I've heard people who are more on the technical end. Apparently, this is a great update, and that's like awesome. I don't really know what it means, but apparently it's good. But then people are saying that they're having issues in the game where the game does feel a bit less like consistent. I think there's just a few more bugs that came about with this update, which it looks like they are looking to fix and they're working on, so it should be good. Now, with that being said, over onto the forge stuff. So we all know with the forging, you can now get UV boxes. I might head over to the auction house. I don't know where the town square should have done /AH. So even here, you can start seeing that people are listing more forge boxes, and you can see the 0-star boxes getting listed now. So you can sell boxes. I've seen people comment like you can't sell the UV tickets in the boxes because they come bound, but you can just sell the boxes directly. And it looks like there's a pretty consistent price of like 20k bid, 35k buyout. You know, but there's a couple cheaper ones. So for the cracked fire forged prize boxes, so people have started grinding those boxes away, which is kind of interesting. But then people on the forum, some people like, this is going to get botted as hell. There's a chance that heating 1-star items might get botted to hell as well. Basically, people are worried that it's going to crash the UV market system. I personally, like, from what I'm seeing as well, most of the people in the responding are like, they're like, it's fine. Most people don't care about the UV market crashing. I don't. If it's easy for any player to grind out any star gear to get UV tickets, then so be it. And I agree. I think it's like, I think that's just a good thing. I think it's ridiculous the level of like, to get to good gear, and I swear, when you get Black Cat with UVs and you have, you know, ASI and CTR, the game feels so good. And to get to that level, you need to drop like 10 mil plus. Like, it's ridiculous how expensive that is to get to that point. Maybe not 10 mil plus, but like, a lot of crowns. Bringing that down is just beneficial for the community. Like, I think it's silly that it was so stock-gated before. With the forge boxes as well, you know, and everything being cheaper, forging, so now people can craft more items. It kind of, in a weird way, you know, we talk about the meta and people like specifically pathing towards chaos sets and that type of thing because it's like the best thing to make first, and it's so hard to make gear. With this forge update, it does make that a little bit easier, which means theoretically, you know, seeing other types of builds might be more common, or like people whipping out new types of weapons and gear sets might be a little bit more common because it's just easier to do. So that's also kind of a side benefit of this update that you know might not inherently think of. The UV tickets better for LD people, better for speedrunning. Yeah, exactly. God forbid people not dump $400 into an armor set. Yeah, UVs are very expensive, and I think we kind of need a way to bring it down. I'd be interested. So the one thing with the UV thing is, because I assume, you know, UVs are going to be a lot more accessible, they might need to change Equinox boxes and maybe update the odds on Equinox boxes to have like higher rates for 3-star and 2-star UV tickets. Because if it's the exact same, like the value of UVs are going to go down a little bit, and then the value of those boxes are not going to be the same. So I feel like it might disincentivize people to buy those boxes, which I'm sure Grey Havens doesn't want. So that might be something that they want to tweak. But I'd rather they up the rates rather than downgrade the rates of the forge boxes, you know? Like, I think it should be more on that end of things. Yeah, awesome update. Hello, Pixel Pig. I think that's really everything I wanted to cover on that that side of things. I think most people will know about this Forge update or have seen my other videos on that already. Moving on to the Reddit. Actually, yeah, no, we'll do the Reddit. Thinking of starting the game. Hey, all. Thinking of starting my Spiral journey after seeing this game from way back is getting updates. I'm just curious about what late game, end game looks like. If anyone can say what they would enjoy about the game, such as a specific part of combat or maybe builds that would be helpful. Also, if there's any like beginner guide Bible you can recommend, that would be neat. I really need to make a YouTube video of like this, exactly, like a beginner guide Bible. I'm so bad at it, but it's really just make Chaos set. that's your initial start, yeah. Good old man with a good response here. What are some other posts? Returning player here. How do I start upgrading my gear to 5 stars? That's interesting. They don't know how that works. We have people posting that. I liked this. I saw this. Someone posted just the forum post, which is funny because FanGL posted like the actual link to the forum post down here, but because it's an image, it's like, it's almost like it's a separate post, but it's the exact same thing. It's just people are seeing the image and like, ooh, image, when it's already been posted. Anyway, doesn't matter. There was also this weird thing. There was a render effects issue. Everyone got mailed out. I don't have the mails anymore. I think I deleted them. I shouldn't have deleted them, but basically Spiral HQ sent out a mail being like, render effects, you might want to turn it off because there's an issue with it. But then they mailed a day later that it's been fixed. So that's all good now. Thought that was interesting. Help, the network may have experienced an outage or the server may not be fully operational. I think that's an issue with their internet. If you had to choose which orange fits better, Vermilion or orange? I'm actually low-key curious what people say about this. What do you guys think in chat? I feel like Vermilion is better because... actually, I don't know. Orange might be easier to match with outfits. Orange clears Vermilion. I like Vermilion, it stands out more, but I'm thinking about like what can you actually pair with Vermilion, and I feel like there's not a lot in the game that matches this color scheme. Whereas orange, you have like the Regal sets and that type of thing, which are a lot closer to it, so it might look a bit better. Vermilion, Vermilion, 2 Vermilions, 1 orange, 2 oranges, 3 Vermilion, 4 Vermilion, 5 Vermilion. Oh my god, everyone says Vermilion. There's orange. Orange for prismatic stuff for sure. Okay, it's basically split 50-50, so I guess we won't know. And that's everything on the Reddit for this past week. Over to the Discords. We have the Haven game update, of course, Forge update. Got a nice thing. A couple of artwork pieces in there. I'm curious about the Night Launcher announcements. We have had a lot. Oh my god, in 2 days, there's been 5 announcement posts. That's funny. They updated Spiral View. Fixed minor visual errors with progress bars. So Spiral View added colorization presets for ShadowTech recolors. You can find ShadowTech recolorizations as STO for ShadowTech Orange, STY. Interesting. There's a -Alt variant for all ShadowTech colorizations, which is intended for use with newer items or while not 100% exclusive to items that use cyan as a base recoloring. In 99% of cases, you won't need to use the /Alt variant. Added colorization presets for Sugar Plum recolors. That's in one of the recent boxes, the newer stuff, I think. Sugar Plum? Yeah. You can find this Sugar Plum colorization as SGR. Small PSA, as it looks like the LWG... See, this is what I'm talking about. The LWGJGL. I won't know about it, but Lucas must. 3 update will release soon. I don't know if it's today, but it does look like it. All editors will be broken as soon as the game updates. That is tragic. They just updated Spiral View, and then within a day, it all got broken. It'll take a few hours to get them back to a working state. Night Launcher will be updated when that's ready. It should not break any other Night Launcher feature at all. Game should launch as usual. Be patient. Another PSA, but a more important one this time. Night Launcher won't be able to launch the game right now. An update will release later today to fix some issues. Alright, so that was a temporary thing, and then it got fixed. Compatibility patches for May 5th game update and all associated changes. Yeah, so Java 25 LWJGL3. The editors will be broken for a little while. I'm working on it. Alt mode launching is also broken for now. This will be fixed soon. The launcher will update itself the next time you open it. If you have auto updates disabled, then you must press the update button manually. Cool. ZGC is now both the default and recommended garbage collector. Updated Spiral View and all editors are working once again. Fixed alt mode launching. Updated Clyde to bring in compatibility with the latest game update. Spiral View. Updated Clyde? What is Clyde? I don't know what that's referencing. Who is Clyde? Where's Clyde? Oh, I do know what Clyde is. I think it's a 3 rings thing. It's a programming thing that 3 rings. If you go on their GitHub, they have a Clyde repository. I think this just pulls in more of the data sets that are in the game files. So I think it like pulls through things that they're uploading to their server side things. I don't really know. I'm guessing, but that's what that's a reference to. I know it's a reference to like the 3 rings stuff. Anyway, interesting. A bunch of Night Launcher updates that come along with the game updates. That's usually pretty typical because obviously they have to update it so that it works with the new updates. This should be the same. I don't think there's any community post. Maybe I just haven't logged on to this. I haven't checked this for a while. Yeah. Energy Market. Is Energy Market back? Oh my god, we are. A low of 4,000. I will say energy is so giga cheap right now. Like 4K. Oh my god. It is so good. It's probably the easiest it's ever been to level up an account right now. It's amazing. We did have some special listings. So we had some things in the auction house, just some classic stuff. When they released the update, they also dropped things on the auction house. So they had Shadow Ear Feathers, Wings of Fury, Prismatic Glow Eyes, Wings of Fury, Frenzy, Wheat Snipe Perch, Tablet of the Violet Rose, Chapter of the Violet Rose, Chapter of the White Rose, Divine Halo, Dead Leafy Aura. I don't know the prices on these, but you know, cool to see that they're adding more things again. The auction house, that was cool, along with the game updates. But yeah, don't expect much there. Furnace will just be the same game updates. I just checked this for like if there's any community events, but there isn't. So, well, there very rarely is. That's everything in this week in Spiral Knights. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's a massive, awesome update. Like the forging is just drastically changed. It's awesome. I hope you guys are enjoying it. And I will catch you guys in next week's This Week in Spiral Knights. I don't expect there's going to be much, but maybe just some, you know, bug fix updates and that sort of thing within the next week. We'll keep an eye out. And I'll chat about it then. Catch you guys in next week's episode of This Week in Spiral Knights. They're not really episodes. Anyway, bye-bye.